SBI just went crazy with this new buff on the Claymore and all of the swords. I'm talking about the parry strike on all of the sword lineups. It now reflects over 100%. Nothing in this game reflects over 100% until now. The parry strike has been buffed. Reflects 125% of the incoming damage, and now the Claymore as well has a pass-through damage. So instead of just a single target on the Claymore, it now passes through. All right, anything that it passes through deals 40% of the damage, and it's now really good for probably small scale, a little bit small scale-ish. Still not yet the best. Carving sword still the best for that. You can probably get away with some small scale. Definitely for 2v2 though. I can see this for 2v2. I'm glad that they did not make it equivalent to the target damage. So this now has target damage and pass-through damage. I'm so glad, because in the previous patch, before it was live, the same target damage will be used for pass-through damage, but now it's just 40%. But for the entire build, we're looking at the Claymore, a typical Hunter Hood, Cleric Robe, Guardian Boots, Stutford Cape, Beef Stew, Heal Pots, and some Gigantify Potion. On your Claymore Q, this is the Heroic Strike. The Heroic Strike is an auto-targeted skill. It has on rate, it jumps towards the opponent, gives you heroic charges, and the heroic charges increases your attack speed and movement speed, and it can stack up to 3 times. So this basically gives you 27% more movement speed, and it also gives you 36% more auto attack speed. It just helps you deal more damage with your auto attacks. There are a lot of W's for the Claymore, but the one thing that I want to highlight, and the one thing that you are most likely going to use, is the Splitting Slash. The Splitting Slash is where you basically root them, deal damage, and significantly, and actually surprisingly significant damage. So that is the Splitting Slash. That is most of the time what you will see swords use in Corrupted Dungeons anyways. And you also have this. I rarely see this, the Blade Cyclone. But for more of a brawl playstyle, they usually tend to use this. Deals a lot of damage and gives you extra mobility as well. But as I said, this is the one that got buffed. You rarely use this against any builds except for fire. You can honestly use it for maybe like a Great Frost Staff. You can definitely use it against one-hand Curse Staffs, because it has that immunity to all damage and reflects all of the damage. The thing that makes this really powerful compared to like the deflecting spin and the counter and the W ability of the gloves is that it immunes you to all damage. The thing that kind of balances it though is it only lasts for 0.8 seconds. So while the deflecting spin, I believe, is over 3 seconds, increases your defenses, still take damage, reflects 100%. Similarly with the counter and the gloves, increases your defenses, right? You take less damage, has that dash, has that counter. It's like 1.2 seconds. This is 0.8 seconds, but it now reflects 125%, which is just insane. And you are going to see in the videos or in the fights for this video, the fight against the Fire Staff, where it just took out 40% of his health. One W took out 40% of his health. He was winning up until I used the parry strike. And it also has a 16-second cooldown. It does have an energy cost of 9%, so there's that. This was the one that got buffed like crazy. The charge on the Claymore still is the same, plus with the pass-through damage. But in 1v1 situations, the pass-through damage doesn't even really matter because it's a single target. All right, just 1v1. So it doesn't really matter that much, but it's still worth noting. For the passive, I usually go with the Heroic Strike. You can also go with Deep Cuts. You can also do with this, with the defenses, but the more popular ones are the Heroic Strike and your Deep Cuts. For your Hunter Hood, it is your typical meta hood for Corrupted Dungeons. You go with Retaliate with 57, increase in your damage resistance for 3 seconds, and the Reflect for 85% is magical damage. You go with Balanced Mind here as well. You also go with the Cleric Robe. This is really good for defensives. You can also use this with your 3 stacks E with the Everlasting Spirit with 20% more damage. That also helps a lot. And with your aggression passive as well. You are also going to use the Guardian Boots or any boots for that matter, but I just so like the ability to swap to the Giant ability if you see fit, but you are going to use the Rejuvenating Sprints most of the time and with the Toughness passive. You also want to go with the Thetford Cape. Some players also use Avalonian Capes, which I think is also good because it deals damage. It reduces the damage dealt by your opponents. But if you are saving on silver, you want to go with the Thetford Cape. For the food, there are actually several options for the food. Either beef stew or eel stew. Eel stew gives you cooldown and damage. Beef stew just gives you damage. I like the beef stew better because it's cheaper and you just want to deal that almost like one-shotty E, but not really. Just deal significantly more damage. You also go with your typical healing potions and Gigantify potion combo. You want to use Gigantify potion when going against fire staffs on far wall. If they use firewall, you just use Gigantify potion and you go over that if your E is already on cooldown. So that's basically it for this build. It has been buffed with the W and the E. Give it a shot. You will see probably more Claymores in Corrupted Dungeons because of this buff, especially against the Fire Staff, because Fire Staff still the meta in Stalker Corrupted Dungeons, and this counters it like a lot. If you're a Fire Staff user and you see the parry strike on the Claymore or on any swords for that matter, make sure to quick cast your E rather than full casting it. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below, or better yet, join us live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Burnstone. Oh my gosh, he's already dead. He's almost dead. Oh no. Oh no. Did you see how OP that was? Wow. Yeah, GG. GG, sir. That's just brawling. I know, I'm good. Boom. Okay, that was... Do we just stand in front of each other? Is that it?